Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. The video that has been going on when Raila visited KICC has really elicited a lot of reaction, and leaked reports indicate that Raila Odinga either stormed KICC without any invitation, or he might have used an entrance that was meant to be used by heads of states. This is because immediately after Raila Odinga had used the entrance that was meant for the heads of state at the KICC, William Ruto immediately ordered his security team and the chief of protocol to change the arrangement, and they immediately allocated another entrance or exit to be used by the other dignitaries. And questions are now being asked whether this is petty politics. And people are asking this because, one, Raila Odinga is a senior citizen in this country. And when we watched him being met there by Rigathi Gachagua, we thought that, well, this is the famous handshake now. This would be the video or the photo of the year. But after the revelations that it forced the government to change the venue, people are asking several questions. Do you think Raila Odinga was invited to that venue? Because if you follow very closely what happened, many think that Rigathi had no choice. Raila Odinga just decided that let me go there and see what will happen. What is the worst that can happen? Because you all know that this government is capable of doing anything. They could have just decided that they are not inviting Raila Odinga because all they are obsessed with is to take political mileage. So they might have just decided that Raila is not coming to this meeting. And then Raila on his side might have also just maybe consulted or just decided that I want to go to KICC to attend the African Climate Summit and see what would happen. That is if he was not invited. It was like a shock to him to see Raila, and that there's nothing he could do because there were several dignitaries there, and he was forced to welcome Raila and usher him in into the KICC venue. Raila was given the front seat. Many still argue that maybe Raila, it's like he grabbed someone's seat. Another theory is that Raila got an invitation and he was supposed to use the entrance. The leaders of the lower cadre were using like the speakers or the ministers, and Raila felt that he must use the entrance that is being used by other dignitaries, other presidents, because just recently Raila was the African Union High Representative for Infrastructure or something, and so he thinks, and I support him on this if this is what he thought. The caliber of Raila's political cadre is commensurate to the others, the people like Musa Faki, who is the head of African Union Commission, other heads of states. And if you ask any Azimio leader, they will tell you that Raila befits to use that very entrance where other presidents were using. But then, why do you think the government decided to change this venue? Because it only means that if this was their idea, then we are still engaging in petty politics. Can someone just help me understand? Because nini ingefanyika, for example, Raila had used that entrance. Why then, what forced them to change it? Because in my opinion, I really feel that they fear Raila Odinga. Why am I saying this? If at all Raila was not meant to use this entrance, or if at all by mistake, intentionally, Raila used this entrance, couldn't there be just a formal communication to Raila's team that maybe when he will be exiting KICC, then he should now use the other exit where maybe ministers and all the other leaders would use? I think to me that would be in order if there was a communication instead of changing this venue. Or does it mean that maybe they thought that other Azimio leaders would follow? Because according to what is happening, after Raila had used that venue, maybe they thought that Martha Karua would follow, and maybe Kalonzo Musyoka. We are the host and we are hosting other leaders. If that is the case, is it wrong? Just help me understand. Is it wrong if maybe Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua and all the other leaders use that entrance? What would happen if Raila, because I'm sure Raila might have noticed the change, or maybe there would be a communication to him, and then he decides that at the end of the meeting, or by the time he wants to leave, he just decides that he wants to use the very exit that is meant to the other dignitaries. What would happen? Do you think they can block him? Because I have a feeling that we are degenerating to the lowest level and lowest standards. Is a man who is a buddy to Raila Odinga. Raila is not just a local leader, an international leader. And so I wonder why the government would be very selfish to deny Raila, entry to, entry, or to use a path that has been left to other dignitaries. Raila is a dignitary himself. And if we continue at this pace, ladies and gentlemen, then we are degenerating, because we degenerate to the lowest level. You understand that we have bipartisan talks taking place. And when people watched Raila and Rigathi Gachagua shaking hands, they felt this is the right thing that should happen. And I remember many people are now saying that the Kenya Kwanza supporters and Azimio supporters should emulate the two leaders, because all we need is to tone down on rhetorics and ensure that we heal the nation. And we felt that this was the right thing to do. But now it is emerging that maybe Rigathi Gachagua was forced because there was nothing he could do. If you ask me, Raila did the right thing, and he should be allowed to use the exit and the entrance that other dignitaries are using, because Raila Odinga is the president of this country. The legitimacy issue is coming up, but you can only challenge me if you open the server. Because as it stands, it is Raila's words against the Kenya Kwanza. Raila says he won, William Ruto says he won fair and square. Until that server is opened, ladies and gentlemen, we might not know the president. But in the words of Martha Karua, the Constitution allows William Ruto to be the president, the head of state and the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces. And that is my take.